Curved body parts are fetishized, classed as high art hooker art. You know what I'm saying? Walk in and take your shit. Red. Dragon red. Meteor crash red. The context of culture plays me like a pawn, and every morning I'm expected to confess for the redemption of my sex and my skin, the consequence of living in a century of decadence and extreme poverty. And here's me, in my little room, just me, at grassroots, trying to find my roots. So many false starts, that stab coming out of the dark amongst all the white noise for a promise of a slice of a devil's pie, and I should just bake my own, but you know what, I can't, because they walked in and they took my shit, all the ingredients that I need to make me human, all the elements that make me a woman. Red heat, revolution red, heat of the moment, fire core red. I can see it loud and clear. Loud and clear, I know what's going on here. I'm the bottom of the food chain. Yeah, I'm a female and I'm black. What am I supposed to do? Join the queue? Am I supposed to booty bounce my way through? To get my dream? To the price of the ticket for my nirvana? You know what? I don't want to. Slaughterhouse red. Blood red. This red that is the flag to my fury. I want to fight, and I want to hide at the same time. I want to push this frustration deep, deep, deep into the recesses of my mind, force the injustice into my very bones until the marrow is full of sorrow. I want to tell someone. I really want to tell someone. But are your ears sensitive enough to hear through all the white noise? Are your ears big enough to hear, to really listen? I want to tell someone, I really want to tell someone, but it gets stuck here and I retch out foul rivers of profanities because my anger has made me utter gutter. The anger that rears onto its hind legs and begs to charge at the target when it sees that red. Anger has made me walk the street at night just to pound the concrete when my feet were trussed up tight, just trying to be right by everybody else's means necessary but my own. I have imbibed copious quarts of alcohol to numb the anger that had made its home and parties hard in my chest, my empty warehouse of a chest, and it brings all its crackhead buddies, resentment, bitterness, and spite. I mean, who were you? Who gave you the right and who gave you the invite? Is this some twisted, inherited birthright? But I'll tell you what I'm really mad about. Sometimes I just had to listen and go with it, you know? Just go with it. Because I didn't have a choice. No, wait. I didn't have a voice loud enough to protect me. It was just a whimper, a sad state of esteem, a battered, tattered, tired squeak that I have come to loathe now. No one's going to take me back to that girl, no one. Because I don't want to meet her. Because she's a weakling, she's stupid, she's dumb, she's ugly, she's cheap, she's nasty, she's black, she's worthless, and no one could love her. No one could ever love her. No, chill, it's okay. Can you believe these are the words that I used to say to myself? I did, for real. These words would rush around my brain loud and clear as if someone was standing right here in front of me saying it, and the words would sear right through me, taking everything that made me a beautiful human being with them. Now, I look out of this body of a window and I see girls like me. See those girls whose breasts are high and watch how their booties jiggle. See their succulent lip, and I see the shine of their hue on their skin. And I think, you know what? This is where the truth is. This is where it is. I think I see the men. I see the men that see that too and don't think of anything else. I see them. I see those girls and I see the intelligence bright in their eyes. I see the inquisitive of their IQs, the excellence of their minds. I see the electric of their wit, the passion of their aptitude, the competence of their instincts, the astuteness of their youth, the sheer genius. And I think this is what truth is. This is what it is. This is where it lies. They are me and I am inspired to take the anger that is fired by scandalous patriarchal scripts. And I give my anger a horse's bridle and I force it to take the bit. You see, anger is the only passion that I rein with a sturdy hand. I hear it, I acknowledge it, and I train it to work for me.
I was asked to write about my anger today. Instead, I lit a cigarette. I started to cry. I don't have poems about anger. The words lie somewhere deep and inaccessible to me. Something must have happened. Something big. To make me feel so small. Someone must have said something. Anger is a cliche. It's for people who can't control themselves. It's unladylike. Ladies, keep it clean, keep it clean. It's ugly, overindulgent, selfish. And so every time I have wanted to spit and scream and break things like I have been, I have said, sure, no problem, don't worry about it. I understand, no really. It must be my fault. I must have done something to deserve it. I deserve it. I should have seen it coming. I was asked to write about my anger today. And I thought, where do I begin? And how can I, when everything I have ever wanted to say has always been the wrong thing, the worst thing, the last thing anyone ever wanted to hear? So, where would you start? Where do I begin? I'm there. Again. In that house, with its careful furnishings and big windows. You did a thorough job, you know. An empty fridge and locked pantry. You locked a lot of things that day. Culture, wena uzama ukuthi nonke nityiwe njengani kule timu yakho yo ha ayinoba nityiwa qho nina. My stepfather said I was ugly and fat, impressionable and vulnerable. I was only 9 years old. I am the child who wets her bed and turns into a shadow. Standing behind doors, apologetic, stunted and stuttering, I learned to hide. I learned to be what everyone else wanted and to make excuses for it. I am parts of myself scattered in 1995, 1998, 2001, 2003, 2005, 2006, 2008, 2009, 2012. There was no space. There was no space, there's been no space. Anger is a cliche. Selfish, it's ugly, destructive, it's for people who can't control themselves. Well, I'm better than that. I'm better than fighting for myself. I'm better than speaking up for myself. Well, I'm better off dead. Sick. The throbbing in my uterus. Flashing, blood red, paralyzed, I cannot get out of bed again. The words unspoken, a lightning down my spine, my waist, my legs. Nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing. Nothing happened when the doctor finally gave it a name. Starched whites, crispened, sanitized. Simultaneously distant and caring, he called it a cancer of the uterus. But you're lucky, he added. You can still be saved. Lucky. Now that's a description I still find difficult to wear. Lucky. He said, 2 operations later, lucky, he pronounced me. A girl with so many bullet holes.
You see what my anger does to me? It paralyzes me down here. I feel it. It's like my spine, it breaks. And my shoulders, they break. It's like a granite block. And sometimes my tongue, it swells so I can't almost breathe. You know, it's like I choke. It's like I choke. You know, sometimes it breaks. It's like
and remind me of days when my childhood was taken away. Seconds that felt like minutes, minutes that turned into hours, hours that became days, and days that became years of pain. I was captivated.
They broke into my home. Peroni beer bottles and vomits in the kitchen sink, on the couch, on my bed. They smashed the TV and stole my underwear. They broke into my home. They smashed the TV and Peroni beer bottles and vomits in the kitchen sink, on the couch, in my bed. They stole my underwear. They broke.
My tongue, it swells so that I almost can't breathe. It's like I choke, you know, it's like, that's what my anger does to me. It's like it paralyzes down here. This is where I feel it. It's like my shoulders, they feel like this granite yoke. And it's like, I want to speak, but my tongue, it swells and I just choke. That's what happens. It's like my knees, they break. It's like glass. So clear thought is that I can't, like internal rape, because I can't escape, you know, it's like I can't escape. It's like internal rape, I can't escape my knees. I choke.
Women don't talk from women, they talk about women. We're not trained to speak from a feminine perspective.
When we're writing about women, when we're talking about women as if we're talking to men.
Yeah.
Our idea of bringing women to the fore, bringing them into the center is writing of women, writing women. But that's the same thing men do.
We hear it from a male perspective because that's how we train. These are harsh words, man. Trained, programmed, conditioned.
Because that's what it is. It's a repetitive, constant affirmation of a particular sound.
What's really interesting about that is I'm really curious to know what that other dialogue is.
That's what I'm thinking. And just that question, do you realize that we write with gaze? We don't write with experience. We write with gaze. The power of the system has been in its ability, it succeeded in making women unfamiliar to themselves and as a result unfamiliar to each other. So what's the elixir without harking back on cliches?
Reclaiming the myth.
Myth creation. It's all a story that's being written and you actually have the right to write your own story. Creating my own myth, and it's kind of inviting people to just sort of start interacting with their own experiences. At which place do you just live it?
So that's time, but space, and we need to constantly create that in a world that's always trying to crowd into your space. That's why this world, like I say, it's toxic. It's pushy.
Yeah.
It's not even just invasive. It's like it's pushing. You back off, please. Do you know what I mean? Give me some space.
Yeah. There were free women, the Furies. They were the contemporary women in their time. They were the contemporary women in their time. And the myth and the story of them is how they've been immortalized as something grotesque even to us, because no matter how many times you put up that furies.net, a chick who checks that out kind of goes, these crazy funny chicks. Crazy funny chicks, you know, why you gotta be something ugly and something hectic and something bold to be empowered? What is the face of empowered? What is the sound of empowered? So that's perhaps step one, is that we've chosen the Furies out of everything else we could have chosen to name the thing out of two. So it's rescuing them.
Wow.
It's going back and going, hey, you oaks were beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
is not my responsibility this time. All of this is boring. I'd much rather learn more about car engines, torque, and valves. I want to go to quiz night at bars. And if I had to choose, I'd rather be true than pretty. I don't give a shit how much money you make. That's not the kind of help I need, and I am not interested in your gaze. I have far better things to do with my time than have sex with you. And I can please myself and trust me. Trust me. I do. I will not be your doormat, your shame, your blame. I will not be your mother, your second lover, your despicable other, and you will not be another reason for more shame. I say no these days and grow fat from it, full of myself, sure-footed and difficult, spilling over, uncontained, furious, and whole, complete, satisfied, and quite happy, actually. I say no to the hypocrisy of this so-called independence handed down to me in boxes with bows and ribbons and strings attached. Do this, do that, and only then. These days, cows on monologue, these days I'll shock you. I'll make